All right, karibu sana. This is the Tubonge talk show. It is good to see you right here at the PCEA Thome online page. Always good to see you. Thank you for your support, for your viewing, for your comments. We appreciate you so much. And today we are privileged to have an amazing guest, one of the people who is behind the scenes in the media team and in the youth team to make sure that everything is going well, make sure that everything we need is there. And so I want to give them the opportunity just to say hi to you and to welcome you. So welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I've been watching the Tubonge show, and I feel nice to be in the lineup of wonderful people who have been coming to speak. And we have seen young professionals again doing amazing things, and I've been encouraged and blessed. As you say, I've been behind the scenes, so I rarely come in front of the camera, but we sit in the media team to organize and to plan, and so I'm happy. And this is the youngest show that we have in our page, and yet it's gaining traction. We are meeting people who are telling us they watched us, they watched this and the other, and I'm glad to see godly impact in this show. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. In fact, today we're doing a bit of some evaluation. We want to see, for the past 1 and 2 years, there has been that growth in the online church here at Dome, and even looking at the larger PCA church, the CAC TV. I want you to mention what has been the impact from your own viewpoint on media and online. What has been the impact? What has been the growth? What has been some of the testimonies we've gotten? What have you been able to view so far?
I am really grateful to God for this wonderful opportunity to minister to people through the online media. Now, of course, this was accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we had gone live before. That's the amazing thing. We have been live. We were live before one of the services. Immediately I came in Dome, I tried to go live. We went live one of the services. We also went live on one of the youth shows called Basics, and we had a wonderful time. It's still in our page. But now COVID threw us into the deep, and we had to, reinvent ourselves.
No physical church at all.
At all. And it was now official in terms of, it is not a request, it was an order. Close down the churches. And so the churches had to reinvent themselves. And so we came a long way in equipping ourselves towards this. Now, there is, of course, the hardware part, which God has enabled us to get. But the side of ministry is where I'm more interested. We began by streaming the services, which was amazing because people needed to see and be able to worship the Lord in that manner. But time came that churches were opened and people came back, so streaming was no longer our priority. So we decided to go fully online and have an online church. And so we began the programs, and we have been testing and testing and testing to the point where now we have the lineup for a whole week. Of course, having just to do a recap of what we normally have. Monday we have Prayer Monday, where we dedicate God's people to God's people towards God for the week. Again, Tuesday is a Bible study, an online Bible study that we do have. Then we have Wednesday, Word Wednesday, where we again discuss God's Word. And then Thursday, this show, the Tubonge show. And then Friday, we have Faith Booster, where we recap on what God has been speaking to us over the Sundays. And then Saturday, we have the kids show, Power Kids, again for the children. And Sunday, we stream. So, apart from Sunday, every other program is online. We don't have physical audience. So that again has been something altogether. In terms of impact, I love giving stories. When we began streaming, a few people from outside the country began, following us, texting, inboxing us, commenting. And we began asking them from wherever they are to reach out to us. And they reached out to us. And we were able to identify this diaspora fellowship. And about 2 Sundays ago, we had 2 of those members here in church.
Amazing.
One from Ireland and another one from Washington, D.C. Shout out to them if they're listening to this. Again, shout out to Anjiro from Ireland and to Kibe from Washington, D.C.
Amazing.
Again, they were here physically. And so I would say, we met online, talked online, and we met physically here in church. Some we are yet to meet, but they are out there again. We are serving them in this way. Coming closer home to this show, the stories have been amazing. I mean, people just telling us how they began, the challenges they have gone through, how they have surmounted.
Yeah.
Seeing young achievers, again, seeing deep people. I mean, listening to some of these stories, I mean, I see God's goodness.
Yes.
I see how somebody, got their education funded in a very wonderful way. I see someone else, who was going through a very tough moment, saying God came through for me.
Yes.
Remember one of the young professionals just the other day who was talking about how their professional journey,
yes,
how they have moved from this company to the other, and the impact they have had. So I would say the online church has given us a platform to glorify God with wonderful testimonies in this Tubonge show, to encourage God's people,
yes,
to inspire God's people. I would say it has been a wonderful time for me.
Amazing.
I sit back and listen as if I'm not one of the people behind the scenes.
Yes.
I sit as an audience just to see what God is doing.
Yeah.
And amazingly, this show has brought young people.
Absolutely.
And so for me, that again is a highlight for me. Yeah.
Amazing. And we want to appreciate the church for giving the youth a voice and a space where we can be able to air out some of these issues that we are seeing around, and we can be able to give light unto them and give some progress. And of course, we shall be here, we shall continue. Give us your comments and also your suggestions of how we can improve, any ideas that you may have, any topics that you may want us to cover, and we will be sure to look at them. And maybe looking on a different spectrum, on one of the things that we are seeing right now in the country is that we're having a thorn in the flesh in this country in the form of the fighting and the violence that is being seen in some of the northern parts of this country. And we understand that these are human beings, these are our fellow brothers and sisters, and these are people who need the gospel, who need hope, who need even support physically of food stuff and different kind of things. And maybe I believe you've gotten an opportunity to be in some of these northern parts of the country and different parts. I don't know what would be your comment about what is going on and some of the experiences you've had, some of the stories you've seen, some of the time you've had to share the gospel in some of these areas.
Again, of course, very sad. We start from a sad note because lives have been lost by the drought itself and by the, the crashes that happen. I've had a chance to actually be in Turkana. I've been to Turkana, the three major towns, Lodwar, again, Kakuma and Lokichogio. The big towns around there. Also, there's a town before Lodwar called Rokicha. And I've been there. Wonderful people, amazing people. I mean, I have videos, I have photos of us dancing for the Lord. Young people, children singing for the Lord, zealous for God. And then you see the other side, the issue of violence. And actually when we were there, towards the end of last year, murders happened. Actually 11 people were killed, 8 of them being policemen. And there was a mother and a child. It was sad. It happened when we were there, not far from where we were. And you could feel the tension. But you could see people who were scared. I mean, sometimes we see news and we think these are, just, rascals, murderers, hardcore people. No. There is a group of people who actually met violence. There are people who actually are the violent ones. And they instigate it, they fight, they keep fighting back and forth. And then there are people who are just scared, who just want to live their lives. They just want to go to school, have a normal life. And so they suffer. So what is the issue? I will tell you this.
Yes.
We always go to impose a solution on the people. That is the first thing we do. Somebody said when you think about culture, that when you go to a different culture, remove your shoes, for indeed you stand in a holy ground. For me, that struck my mind.
Remove your shoes.
If you are standing on holy ground, you really do not know.
Yes.
He said, listen, ask questions and listen some more. We don't do that. What we do is we enter there, talk, and then fight them.
And say, let jeshi.
Piga watu, uwa mtu, shika yule. And then they are silent. You're not telling us what's the issue. So we impose solutions on them that do not last. And we should ask ourselves, how come from independence, we have brought policemen, you can even count how many times Jeshi has gone there. Our army has been there without a solution. The reality is, we do not listen. We are tusikizi. We are very quick. One of the major things there is the issue of natural resources. Because as long as there is a river here, and we have cattle, you can't tell me the boundary is after the river. First begin to understand that.
Yes, yes. The starting point.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a river here. My cows are dying.
Okay.
So you can't tell me that boundaries for my county are here. I will bring my cows.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So begin by I will bring them because if I don't bring them, they are the only source of livelihood. I'll die.
Yes.
So I better die by the bullet, trying to bring my cows to the water, than die by hunger after all my cows are dead. So understand the issue of natural resources is a big issue. Sometimes it's okay because the rivers are still flowing, but when rivers are dry and there's only one river, everybody shall come from everywhere and struggle for this resource. And when it comes to struggle for survival, it's not like Nairobi where you are struggling because of public Wi-Fi.
Yes.
You are there because of the jam. So instead of using Vika Road, you use some bypass. It is not a matter of life and death.
And power rationing and water rationing.
Nothing about life and death. But if this is the only life I have, if I stay here, I die. If I go there, I might die, but I may also live. I will go. So we must understand that issue. And there are several other issues that are intertwined with that. Of course, there's a cultural issue, because before young men would become full men, they would have to raid another place and steal some cows. And that's the way. But Kitambo, they were doing this with spears and arrows and fighting physically with sticks and all that. So it was more of a game. You steal from us, you steal from you. You steal from us, you steal from you. But now, there was introduction of a deadly weapon, a gun. So you're no longer stealing with sticks and bows and arrows.
Now the gun is there.
Now is a gun. So it cannot be sustainable. That cultural thing has to die. Because now, you're not raiding and atupimani nguvu.
Yes.
We are actually exchanging fire. Now that's not a good thing.
Yes.
But how do you replace that cultural activity of young men becoming real men by showing their prowess in an area?
Yes.
How do you channel that energy into something else to have alternative rite of passage? That has to come to pass. We must be able to ask ourselves. So I would say, let's go there, let's listen, listen, ask questions, listen some more, and then have homegrown solutions and implement them. And let's not be in a hurry. Let's not be in a hurry. I heard one of the young men talking the other day, and he was asking, you have not brought schools here.
Yes.
When we are dying of hunger, you have not brought food. We don't have boreholes for water.
Yes.
But suddenly, you have camps for army. Umeleta jeshi.
Yes. Full force.
You are flying all over the place. Coming here.
We're hungry.
And that is the first thing the government has brought to us.
Oh my goodness.
So which government is this? That the first thing you think of bringing to us, is armed people to kill us. You cannot ask yourself, if we are fighting because of this river, why don't you do a borehole in that village? And we will not come here.
Yes.
We respect boundaries, but I mean, if that is the only river, we will fight for it until we get it. Yeah. So I think one of the things we must do is have homegrown solutions, be able to implement them over a period of time without a hurry. And then the engineer young people will have a different mentality, especially in the area of education, and who have access to even internet, I would say, so that they see there is a world beyond them. Because as long as they see the world is just around us, they will fight for what they see.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to paint for us a picture. I want you to paint for us a picture of how mission in some of these areas looks like, in the northern parts looks like. I want to, because there's someone who's watching who would be interested maybe to go there and do mission. There's someone who, I'm sure, soon enough we shall have programs to go in some of these areas to do mission work. And they may want to see what happens, so that if I'm supporting, I want to know what literally goes on there. You had an opportunity to interact with these people. You've mentioned that in one of the areas you are just close by where killings are happening. So I want us to paint a picture in a day. How does it look like? Are you going house to house? You know, how do they receive the gospel? You can paint for us that picture.
Now, one of the things about the gospel is that it responds to needs. And because it's responding to needs, it is always accepted where the need is greater. So there's great need, and therefore the gospel is well received. They have gone through a lot of trouble. They have gone through pain and suffering and lack, and so they are receptive. Our missions were very simple. They were to the youth. And I can tell you the youth are gathering around towns. Why? Most of them had lost a lot of their livestock. And so they have nothing to do at home. They don't farm. They are not, I mean, so they were in small towns. Some of them don't look like towns, but they are towns. So what we would do, we would carry some water, some resources, just maybe some biscuits, something just to give them. And we would go and sit with them. And then we would talk with them. So we'll have a chat with them and we'll talk about their needs and we'll tell them about the gospel and how it gives hope. And then we would have, we used to have a dance. So we would have a way of dancing. We would dance with them and they would really appreciate that. And then when you get here, you would actually go to the next place with them. So those ones you have preached with, you go to the next place with them.
Wow.
And then they will show you where people are. Because people live in communities. There you don't go, and there's no door to door because literally where they live, there are really no doors at all.
It is
People literally sleep outside.
from location to location.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, it's women and children who sleep in one of those houses. Otherwise,
Yes.
people just sleep outside. I have seen people sleep outside. In fact, there are places, I remember one day we were driving to go to a school to look for accommodation. And we had to stop abruptly because there were men who were just sleeping, you know.
Just aimlessly.
Who got too in jail. So people sleep, anyway, it is hot.
Yes.
I understand why people sleep like that. And I mean, it's okay. But, so I would say we would walk with them, just talk with them, have a dance with them. Then in the afternoon, we would have several teachings. Girls were being taught how to make sanitary towels, homemade. We were there with the young men talking about business, how to keep a different kind of animals like chicken and all that. So we had empowerment for them. And then we had bonfires in the evening where we would sit with them. So the missions there are not crusade-like. Because
very in person.
Yeah, you have to just talk to people. Generally gossip the gospel.
Yes.
Just gossip the gospel with them. Sit there. Don't look like, don't wear suits and all that. Just sit. In fact, there's a day I really wished I knew how to tie those shukas. Because I was burning in terms of hot. It was, there's a time we would actually, you go and pay for a hotel. Not to stay. Just to go and have air condition. Just to go and just have so that you feel alive again.
Because the heat is too much.
Too much. And so we had a nice time to stay with them. I would say long-term missions would be the best. People can go and incarnate there, stay with them, see the community. When they are running away, run away with them. Have church the way they want church. Church is outside. So have church with them and let them see Jesus in you and struggle with them. So when you go there, don't eat too much. You just eat the little they are eating. Don't take too much water. And I tried that, which worked. So it works. That was what I would say.
Amazing. Now, on this one, I want you to look at it from a point of being a servant of God. Number two, as a professional, because you've been graced to have the opportunity to be in a professional training, in a professional circle, and now in ministry. To look at the drought that we have experienced for quite a time. We are talking about 2 to 3 years of not having sufficient rains. And we want to ask ourselves, is it a moment that we need to have a conversation to change the story from we are not even now fasting for prayer, but for other innovations? Or is God saying something to us and we are not getting it? 2 to 3 years now, we are talking about seeing rains even for 2-3 days is a miracle. Even a day. In fact, I think for the past 1 year, we can't talk about 2 days where we've had very great rains. When you look at this situation, what is your comment? And have you seen maybe adverse issues come from this? Let's talk about drought. Now,
just to be very clear, is that in Turkana, where we were, the reality is for them, they have not seen rain for very long. There's some children there who don't know what rain is.
Wow.
They hear stories of rain, but they have never seen rain. They have never experienced rain. They will experience at some point, but they have never experienced rain.
Wow.
Now, one of the insults I received in a meme was an insult that pained me, but made me say, we need to think better. And somebody had a meme written showing 2 photos. Israel irrigating, using technology to irrigate. They are almost, like in desert area, because Israel is really dry.
Yes.
Irrigating their desert area and they have green food. But on the other picture was Kenyans praying to the God of Israel for rain. Now, that was an insult.
Oh, the God of Israel.
For rain.
And here we have Israel, irrigation continuing.
Israel is irrigating using technology and they have food.
And the God of Israel, Israel is a desert area.
It's a desert area.
Yes.
And then they have food.
Sufficient.
Because they are using technology.
Okay.
But then Kenyans are praying to the God of Israel for food, for rain. And I said, well, we need to think about it. The reality is there are practical steps that need to be done. And when we pray, we don't always pray. When we pray, God give us a daily bread. We don't expect to open our eyes and see the bread. We pray that morning after you make the prayer, you leave so that God can bless the work of your hands and you get your daily bread. Otherwise, you don't close your eyes and hope that when you open, there will be bread.
Yes. And if the Bible says, if you do not work,
you do not eat. So it's even unfortunate that sometimes the people we elect choose and pay to actually help us, organize ourselves for better, join us in prayer. It's unfortunate.
And even do county meetings for prayer.
They literally join us. We must have division of labor.
Allocation of work.
In the book of Acts,
yes,
it's very clear. Peter said, let us appoint people to go and serve food so that we are left with prayer and the word.
Wow.
The people we have appointed to go and do the physical work of dividing our resources should not come and then join us in word and prayer. Allow the priests and the church and those who are actually there to pray as you go out there and do what we elected you to do. So there's nothing wrong with elected leaders coming for a prayer meeting, but it cannot be that is their strategy. No, let them come on Sunday, but from Monday to Friday, let them do what we employ them to do.
Let's get technology innovation in place.
That's the thing, because the funny thing is this, the same place where we have drought, when rain comes, there will be floods that will still kill people.
Wow.
And all that water will be washed into the lakes, be washed into the ocean. So right now, this would have been the best moment to build dams. This would have been the best moment to build reservoirs for water. This would have been the best moment to organize ourselves so that when the rain comes, we don't lose the water.
Yes.
So my advice would be, let the professional people who know how, who have the know-how, go and put the structures in place so that this does not repeat itself. When the rain comes, we have harvest every drop we can to make sure the next time there's a drought, we have enough water to drink and to irrigate. Because rain, dependent agriculture is a thing of the past. We must think of irrigation here.
Amazing. I feel these are the conversations we need to have. Practical church, practical ministry, and because when we get silent is when all these things, ills are happening in the society, where there are some things practically we can do. And we are so sure there are people who are watching right here who know people who can do things, and probably even themselves could be in the climate change. Some of these organizations could be in some platforms that can make a difference. And so we invite us to have these conversations ongoing. And for this opportunity, I want to give Pastor David an opportunity to give us his last word for that person who is watching. And probably this video was the video he was looking at and saying, me, I feel like I've given up. I've tried businesses. I feel like I want to give up. I've tried things. I've tried looking for jobs. Things are not working. I don't know what one word you can tell them as they are fighting for their life, as they are journeying. That one word you have for them.
The thing is that we have to keeping on. The song Milimani na Mabodeni does not even have tabarare, you know. That's the thing.
Oh, wow.
This is about life. And if you are a Christian, please know, a Christian is somebody who is in trouble, they need prayer. They're out of trouble, they have a testimony. Or they're about to get into more trouble, they need more prayers. That's the life. Because it has to remind you, this is not our home.
I feel you need to repeat that.
A Christian is somebody who is in trouble, they need prayer. Out of trouble, they have a testimony. Or they're about to get into more trouble, they need more prayer.
Amazing.
That's the reality. Because this is not our home. Our home is in heaven. But we are not here as refugees. We are here as ambassadors. Jesus said, occupy till I come. So before you are called home, you have rights and privileges. You ask from the Father, and then you see, what can I do now? And no action is truly true. Exert yourself on it. Put yourself on it. Work at it. Continue working. Do not give up. Do not give up. Look up. And after you look up and you have prayed, then face your issues. And face them with the confidence that Jesus Christ has given you the authority to conquer, to subdue the earth once again. So today may be bad. Things may look bad, but they are becoming better. Keep the hope. Keep the hope.
Amazing. Occupy till you come home. You can put it better. Amazing, amazing words, amazing reflections, amazing conversations. You cannot get this anywhere apart from the Tubonge talk show right here at the PCA Dome Online. We welcome you to subscribe. You will not be charged anything. You will go a long way to support us to ensure this great message and hope goes to many, many more people. Share with friends. And every other Thursday, we are right here. Thank you for your watching. Thank you for your support. Until next time, bye.